Hello everyone, and welcome back once again to the final edition of the Disney Infinity on Steam trilogy. I've looked at both Disney Infinity 1.0 and 2.0 Gold Editions on Steam, and now it's finally time to see what Disney Infinity 3.0 Gold Edition has to offer. I loved 1.0, it's always been my favorite. 2.0 improved on a lot of things, and was quite fun to play, but I wasn't thrilled with the big Marvel theming over classic Disney. Neither edition had multiplayer, which sucked, and I honestly don't expect 3.0 to either, but let's see if it does. Released in 2015, only a year after the 2.0 edition, Disney Infinity 3.0 was Disney's final and most ambitious attempt at the Toys to Life genre. While additional content did end up getting cancelled pretty early on, effectively ending Disney Infinity, the base 3.0 still aimed to build on the systems created in 1.0 and expanded upon in 2.0. But most importantly, it was also going to include characters from the Star Wars franchise. Star Wars The Force Awakens was released the same year, so the hype for this series was about as high as it could ever be, and would ever be, based on how the sequels ended up turning out. But anyways, let's now take a look at the modern Steam version and see what it's like. Starting off, there is once again an opening cutscene. I kinda missed this in 2.0, so I'm glad it's back. Plus, it was the best of both worlds. Where I found that 2.0 was a little bit too heavily Marvel themed, I think 3.0 strikes a good balance between Star Wars and classic Disney theming. And that started with this opening cutscene. You start as Anakin to get an introduction to Star Wars. Then you get to fly the Millennium Falcon for a bit from the original Star Wars movies. Then it's on to Inside Out, and some classic Mickey Mouse to finish it off. It was just a great introduction to all the series that this game includes. Next, of course, it was time to look at the collection. What does this game include? Well, the UI for character selection is a little different this time around, and I think this is due to the sheer amount of content included. It's in a bunch of different categories, usually grouped by Star Wars, Marvel, or Disney. For characters, you have all 1.0, 2.0, and most of the 3.0 characters included, which is a huge amount of people you can play as. All the Star Wars characters are new to 3.0, and there's some pretty good options here. Of course, you've got Luke, Darth Vader, Obi-Wan, everyone you'd expect, but you do get some niche picks too, like Boba Fett, or these guys from Star Wars Rebels, I think? I don't know, I didn't actually watch those ones. 3.0 also added some new Marvel characters. Ultron and Hulkbuster are included, who are both very neat additions. And then there's a few new Disney characters too, like Mickey and Minnie Mouse, Olaf, all the emotions from Inside Out. But still no Goofy. Like, geez, we really got another Mickey Mouse before we got Goofy? Come on, Disney. And despite there being a lot of new characters, not all the 3.0 characters are actually included, which is pretty frustrating. Missing are Alice, the Mad Hatter, and Time from Alice in Wonderland, Ant-Man, Black Panther, Vision, and Captain America, the first Avenger version from Marvel, Dory and Nemo from Finding Nemo, and Baloo from The Jungle Book. There's really no excuse to not have these included. You're selling the game as the definitive gold edition of Disney Infinity 3.0, so it better include everything that game featured. But unfortunately, it does not. And besides the characters, the matching Marvel Battlegrounds and Finding Dory playsets are also not included, which is a huge amount of content missing. I don't really know what to say. It's a ripoff, and should 100% be in the game. Regardless, we'll move on. Despite the annoying missing content, there is still plenty in this game. Just like 2.0, you also get the round power discs that offer some cool, unique abilities, and all the hex discs that give you a bunch of new items for your toy box. I do wish there were more new hex discs, like only 6 new Star Wars ones is a little disappointing. But one of them is General Grievous's wheel bike, so maybe I can forgive it. Although I did read that a few of the new 3.0 discs are also missing, so maybe not. Anyways, moving on to the actual game. The graphics and load times are very good. I remember that, especially on the Wii U, the load times were pretty abysmal. And I honestly feel like that's a big reason why me and my brother didn't play that one when we were kids. So this time it was an all-around much smoother experience. And speaking of my brother, just to get it out of the way and not let anyone's hopes get too high, there is once again no form of official multiplayer in this game. No local split screen or online. I was expecting this, but it's still a bummer. It would add so much value to this game if it was included. Anyways, let's see what this game does offer. You start off in another pre-built toy box world, where you can get introduced to everything within Infinity 3.0. You can learn to drive, and I learned that all cars, even the old ones from 1.0, were refined in this game, so driving is about as polished as it ever will be in Disney Infinity. And I would say that you can definitely tell. I felt like I had a lot of control over my vehicles, especially when it came to drifting. Plus, there's lots more flying vehicles, lots from Star Wars, so that's very neat too. One interesting thing this game added is a more complex sidekick system. In Disney Infinity 2.0, there was that one dungeon crawling mode where you had a sidekick and could get gear and stuff for them, but now sidekicks are built into the whole game, and you can have them pretty much whenever. I wouldn't say this is like a game changer, but it's a cool progression of the system from the last game. Of course, there's a combat tutorial, and combat is even more complex than ever, and that's awesome. Skill trees once again return, but now you have complex aerial combos you can perform, or unique ground combos that you can unlock. Difficulty options also return, which is great. Really, just throughout my entire time playing the toy box and single player modes, the combat was for sure the most satisfying and entertaining it had ever been between the three games. There is a little parkour tutorial. Not too much has changed in that aspect, but I do like that they made Ewok Village and you could parkour around that. That was cool. Just like the last game, you have all sorts of toys that can be purchased with blue sparks for your toy box, and holy, once again, there are endless pages of these things to buy. New stuff from 3.0, plus everything from 2.0 and 1.0. I mean, that is genuinely such a massive amount of things, but I like that. There's lots of cool stuff to unlock. There is also this feature that allows you to upload and share your toy boxes, which is really cool. I feel like this finally gives purpose to single player toy box modes. Like, this is a true reason to want to build new stuff.
Visit the theater to experience the very best toy boxes that have been created by other Disney Infinity fans.
Oh. Never mind then. Good news though, the interior designing aspect introduced in 2.0 is once again back for 3.0. So great news for people who enjoyed that mode. So that was all the basic tutorials you could do in the toy box. But each of these actually had some little mini games you could do just for fun or to learn more mechanics in depth. I did an awesome racing minigame, a really long Peter Pan flying minigame. These were kind of the classic short but fun minigames I remember from 1.0. There was a little sidekick tutorial I did. They seem to act pretty similar to the way they did in 2.0, and honestly that works pretty well. They'll fight with you, you can feed them, you can find and equip them with new gear. I don't really know if I'd use this, but it's easy enough to turn on and off for the people that do want to. I ventured to an absolutely thrilling amusement park. Yep. Then I did this lava escape run thing, which had that unique top-down camera that I liked from 2.0, so that was pretty cool. Then I did some shooting minigames. There really is a lot to do with these missions. They are short, but there's quite a few of them, which is awesome. I'm glad they have short minigames like this, because 2.0 didn't really have any. Also, I should mention this time around, I tried this game on my Steam Deck, and it was great. There is 100% controller support, and it ran above 60 FPS the entire time for me, so if you want to play it that way, I think it's a great option. Anyways, that was all I tried for the toy box. Now it was time to get into the more in-depth story content. This game features 4 playsets, 3 of which are Star Wars. One is for the prequels / Clone Wars, one is for the original movies, and one is for The Force Awakens. There is also an Inside Out themed playset included. It's a pretty good selection. Of course, I also wish the Finding Dory playset was included, but I am glad we get at least one non-Star Wars themed story, even though I am pretty excited for the Star Wars ones too. Don't get me wrong, I am a Star Wars fan. Andor is peak. There is also the Toy Box Takeover and Toy Box Speedway modes included. And you know what, let's switch it up and start with these ones this time. The Toy Box Speedway is insane. This is Infinity 3.0 using its better car handling to the fullest extent. It's essentially the Mario Kart mode of this game. You have 3 different modes you can play: a classic race, a battle race, which pretty much just adds items to shoot each other with, and a time trial. You've got 3 different speeds you can race at for all of these options, and a bunch of different courses to choose from. You can do individual races or a Grand Prix. There is just a lot to choose from, and it was honestly a blast. You know the new Mario Kart World that added rail grinding? Sorry to break it to you, Nintendo fans, but Infinity did this first. But genuinely, these were really fun. The tracks are unique and creative, the battle mode and items within it are annoying, as they should be. It's genuinely just a really good racing mode. I mean, obviously the biggest letdown is still no multiplayer or online races, so it's all just against computer opponents, but playing this makes me want to go and play it with multiplayer on my Wii U, because it was really fun. Toy Box Takeover is also a blast. It's actually an evolution of the dungeon crawler mode I liked from 2.0, but it's way better, I would say. First of all, you get this genuinely funny opening cutscene.
Give it up, Syndrome. You don't need to do this.
Counterpoint?
And then you're treated to some really fun gameplay. It's similar to the previous version with a big emphasis on using your sidekick to help, but it's really just about the combat. There's hordes of enemies, but most of them usually die in a single hit. Combine that with a few stronger enemies, and you have a good, challenging combat system. All the levels have different themes, and you start with a Pirates-themed one. Finally, some more Pirates content. There's even a boss battle with a giant Davy Jones. This mode I played for like a really long time, because it was the most fun thing in this game in my opinion. Levels are unique stylistically, but also gameplay-wise. There was one where I was suddenly restricted to just using the toilet paper launcher to defeat like 50 enemies, and that was a cool idea. Also, the creativity of some of the 3.0 characters really impressed me in this mode. Like Nick from Zootopia. They could have so easily just made like punch the enemies or shoulder bash them or something. But instead, they based his entire moveset around wielding a popsicle, and I thought that was just really creative. Yeah, overall this mode and the Speedway feel like an evolution of the deeper minigames from 2.0 in the best way possible. But what about the playsets? As I've mentioned, there are 4 included, and I tried all 4, starting with the Twilight of the Republic. As a whole, I think all of these playsets are on the same level as the 2.0 playsets, if not a little bit better. I really don't know if they changed too much. It's still the same combat with some platforming or small puzzles in between, but I did find certain things especially great with the Twilight of the Republic. There was great enemy variety, even for only the opening section, with like 5 different types of droids to fight. Having aerial combos and force moves adds a lot of fun options for you in combat. Plus, you've got the legend Plo Koon guiding you. Honestly, I wish some of these side characters that already had voice actors and models were playable characters, like Plo Koon or General Grievous. But yeah, it was great. You fight your way through a bunch of droids, make your way through the dangerous droid factory, and have a really cool boss fight with Grievous at the end of the opening. Also, instead of having to collect 10 coins to play as crossover characters like it was in the second game, you only need 1 this time around, which is a huge improvement in my opinion. So yeah, this was probably the most fun of all the playsets I tried. Great combat and a great setting. If you like the Star Wars prequels, this is a very fun time. Both the Rise Against the Empire and the Force Awakens modes were still fun, but just didn't have as strong starts. They both have cool openings, like escaping from the Death Star and escaping from the new Death Star, and then you're plopped on the desert planet and have to collect a bunch of credits. I mean, they're both fun. The world is kind of like open for you to explore and do whatever tasks you like. You can do little side missions or perform collectible challenges, stuff like that. It was definitely different from the other one, but still pretty fun. Combat and platforming is exactly the same, but that's a very good thing. Overall, all of these Star Wars playsets are very similar in terms of gameplay, so it's really just up to you on which movies are your favorites for which one you want to play. I did enjoy all of them, and I could definitely see myself going back to continue playing them in the future. But I have to say, I was interested to see whether the Inside Out playset was going to do something different. And yes, it actually did. The Inside Out playset is a lot more level oriented. And within these levels, it's more focused on platforming and collecting these balloons to increase your level score. There's like hundreds of these placed throughout the level, so collecting all of them would be pretty challenging, but it made the levels a lot more engaging. I do wish there were more interesting rewards for collecting more balloons, because that would be a good incentive to collect them, like new toy box items or new minigames or something, but it was still pretty unique, so I did enjoy it. The Inside Out theming probably wouldn't have been my choice, but it did lend itself perfectly to create really unique levels and just like fun colors and everything, so I ended up liking it quite a bit. And that's about all that Disney Infinity 3.0 has to offer for content. So what did I think overall? Well, I feel like I'm the most conflicted about this one. It does a lot of great things. I really enjoyed the Star Wars theming of some aspects and the Star Wars playsets, but I'm glad it wasn't solely focused on that, and still gave a lot of content to the classic Disney IPs. The Speedway and Toy Box Takeover were some of the most fun secondary modes I've played in this whole series. There is so much content in this game. With all the characters and toys from the other editions too, I feel like it should be the definitive version of Disney Infinity as a whole, just because it includes so much. But on the other hand, it's disappointing that despite including so much, it doesn't include everything. If you're gonna advertise this as the definitive Disney Infinity 3.0 version, then include all the characters, playsets, and features. Once again, no multiplayer sucks, no toy box sharing sucks, missing 3.0 characters sucks, they are even missing the Kingdom Hearts crossover items. So I do really wish they included this stuff. If it was in there, I would undoubtedly say this is the best version and best value for your money of all these games on Steam. Of course, I will always have a special place for 1.0 in my heart, and I will continue to play that one with my brother on our Wii U. But I could genuinely see me alone going on Steam to play this one. So if 3.0 is your favorite, or you really just want to play the Star Wars content, I would 100% recommend this game. But wait. There was one section in this video that was highly requested by viewers. It's about time I look into modding Disney Infinity and seeing if I can add some of the content that's missing. I'm not gonna do a tutorial or anything, but the video I followed to do this was Cassini4's video, which I will link in the description, so feel free to follow along with that one if you want to do what I'm about to show. It was a pretty simple and pretty fast process, ignoring some long download times. Modding isn't really my thing, so I didn't go in depth here, but I was able to use a bunch of the missing 3.0 characters, and that was awesome. If you really want to play as these guys, then it's not a hard process to do. And it looks like there's still a community where you could potentially get the rest of the missing content, or even unreleased or new content too. So yeah, check out the video in the description if you're interested in setting this up as well. It's awesome that this is an option. And that's all I have for this video. Thank you everyone for watching this video and this entire series of videos. I never expected that Disney Infinity of all things would make my channel that much more popular, but I'm really glad it did. I'm kinda out of Disney Infinity content, so expect a lot more diverse videos going forward, but I hope lots of you guys will stick around and see what's coming next. Maybe with the success of these videos, there's a chance we could get a LEGO Dimensions Gold Edition or Skylanders Gold Edition on Steam. Probably not, due to licensing issues, but I can tell through the comments that this would be a dream come true for a lot of people. And yeah, I agree, that would be awesome. I hope it happens one day. Because apart from these Disney Infinity Gold Editions on Steam just being really fun, it's a great notion towards game preservation, and honestly a lot of other companies should take notes from this. Anyways, thank you all so much for going through this epic Disney Infinity journey with me. I hope to see you again in another video, and have a great day. Bye.